All right. Hello, everyone, again. This is me, Galindo, reading from chapter 4 of the prophetic book of Esdras, the second book of Esdras. Okay? Chapter 4. Then the angel that had been sent to me, whose name was Uriel, answered and said to me, Your understanding has utterly failed regarding this world. And do you think you can comprehend the way of the Most High? Then I said, Yes, my Lord. And he replied to me, I have been sent to show you three ways, and to put before you three problems. If you can solve one of them for me, I also will show you the way you desire to see, and will teach you why the heart is evil. I said, Speak on, my Lord. He said to me, Go, weigh for me the weight of fire, or measure for me a measure of wind, or call back for me the day that is past. I answered and said, Who of those that have been born can do this, that you can ask me concerning these things? And he said to me, If I had asked you how many dwellings are in the heart of the sea, or how many streams are at the source of the deep, or how many streams are above the firmament, or which are the exits of hell, or which are the entrances of paradise, perhaps you would have said to me, I never went down into the deep, nor as yet into hell, neither did I ever ascend into heaven. But now I have asked you only about fire and wind and the day, things through which you have passed and without which you cannot exist. And you have given me no answer about them. And he said to me, You cannot understand the things with which you have grown up. How then can your mind comprehend the way of the Most High? And how can one who is already worn out by the corrupt world understand incorruption? When I heard this, I fell on my face and said to him, It would be better for us not to be here than to come here and live in ungodliness and to suffer and not understand why. He answered me and said, I went into a forest of trees of the plain, and they made a plan and said, Come, let us go and make war against the sea, that they may recede before us, and that we may make for ourselves more forests. And in the like manner the waves of the sea also made a plan and said, Come, let us go up and subdue the forests of the plain, so that there we may gain more territory for ourselves. But the plan of the forest was in vain, for the fire came and consumed it. Likewise also the plan of the waves of the sea, for the sand stood firm and stopped them. If now you were a judge between them, which would you undertake to justify, and which to condemn? I answered and said, Each has made a foolish plan. For the land is assigned to the forest, and to the sea is assigned a place to carry its waves. He answered me and said, You have judged rightly. But why have you not judged so in your own case? For as the land is assigned to the forest, and the sea to its waves, so also those who dwell upon the earth can understand only what is on the earth, and he who is above the heavens can understand what is above the height of the heavens. Then I answered and said, I beseech you, my Lord, why have I been endowed with the power of understanding? For I did not wish to inquire about the ways above, but about those things which we daily experience, why Israel has been given over to the Gentiles as a reproach, why the people whom you love have been given over to godless tribes, and the law of our fathers have been made of no effect, and the written covenants no longer exist. And why we pass from the world like locusts, and our life is like a mist, and we are not worthy to obtain mercy. But what will he do for his name, by which we are called? It is about these things that I have asked. He answered me and said, if you are alive, you will see, and if you live long, you will often marvel, because the age is hastily, swiftly to its end. For it will not be able to bring the things that have been promised to the righteous in their appointed times, because this age is full of sadness and infirmities. For the evil about which you asked me has been sown, but the harvest of it has not yet come. If therefore that which has been sown is not reaped, and if the place where the evil has been sown does not pass away, the field where the good has been sown will not come. For a grain of evil seed was sown in Adam's heart from the beginning, and how much ungodliness it has produced until now, and will produce until the time of the threshing comes. Consider now for yourself how much fruit of ungodliness a grain of evil seed has produced. When heads of grain without number are sown, how great a threshing floor they will fill. Then I answered and said, how long and when will these things be? Why are our years few and evil? He answered me and said, you do not hasten faster than the Most High, for your haste is for yourself, but the Highest hastens on behalf of many. Did not the souls of the righteous in their chambers ask about these matters, saying, how long are we to remain here? And when will come the harvest of our reward? And Jeremiah, the archangel, answered them and said, when the number of those like yourself is completed, for he has weighed the age in the balance, and the measure the times by measure, and the number the times by number, and he will not move or arouse them until that measure is fulfilled. Then I answered and said, O sovereign Lord, but all of us also are full of ungodliness. And it is perhaps on the account of us that the time of the threshing is delayed for the righteous, on account of the sins of those who dwell on earth. He answered me and said, go and ask a woman who is with child if, when her 9 months have been completed, her womb can keep the child within her any longer. And I said, no, Lord, it cannot. And he said to me, in Hades, the chambers of the souls are like the womb. For just as the woman who is in travail makes haste to escape the pangs of birth, so also do these places hasten to give back those things that were committed to them from the beginning. Then the things that you desire to see will be disclosed to you. I answered and said, if I have found favor in your sight, and if it is possible, and if I am worthy, show me this also, whether more time is to come than has passed, or whether for us the greater part has gone by. For I know what has gone by, but I do not know what is to come. And he said to me, stand at my right side, and I will show you the interpretations of a parable. So I stood and looked, and behold, a flaming furnace passed before me. And when the flame had gone by, I looked, and behold, the smoke remained. And after this, a cloud full of water passed before me, and poured down a heavy and violent rain. And when the rainstorm had passed, drops remained in the clouds. And he said to me, consider it for yourself, for as the rain is more than the drops, and the fire is greater than the smoke, so the quantity that passed was far greater, but drops of smoke remained. Then I prayed and said, do you think that I shall live until those days? Or who will be alive in those days? He answered me and said, concerning the signs about which you asked me, I can tell you in part, but I was not sent to you concerning your life, for I do not know. Now concerning the signs, behold, the days are coming when those who dwell on earth shall be seized with great terror, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be burned of faith, and unrighteousness shall be increased beyond what you yourself see, and beyond what you heard of formerly. And the land which you now see ruling shall be waste and untrodden, and men shall see it desolate. But if the Most High grants that you live, you shall see it thrown into confusion after the third period. And the sun shall suddenly shine forth at night, and the moon during the day. Blood shall drip from wood, and the stone shall utter its voice. People shall be troubled, and the stars shall fall. And one shall reign, whom those who dwell on earth do not expect. And the birds shall fly away together. And the sea of Sodom shall cast up fish. And one whom the many do not know shall make his voice heard by night, and all shall hear his voice. There shall be chaos in many places, and fire shall often break out, and the wild beasts shall roam beyond their haunts, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters, and salt water shall be found in the sweet, and all friends shall conquer one another. Then shall reason hide itself, and wisdom shall withdraw into its chambers. And it shall be sought by many, but shall not be found. And unrighteousness and unrestraint shall increase on earth. And one country shall ask its neighbor, has righteousness or anyone who does right passed through you? And it will answer, no. And at that time men shall hope, but not obtain. They shall labor, but their ways shall not prosper. These are the signs which I am permitted to tell you. And if you pray again, and weep as you do now, and fast for 7 days, you shall hear yet greater things than these. Then I woke, my body shuddered violently, and my soul was so troubled that it fainted. But the angel who had come and talked with me held me and strengthened me, and set me on my feet. Now on the second night, Phaltiel, a chief of the people, came to me and said, where have you been, and why is your face sad? Or do you not know that Israel has been entrusted to you in the land of their exile? Rise, therefore, and eat some bread, so that you may not forsake us, like a shepherd who leaves his flock in the power of cruel wolves. Then I said to him, depart from me, and do not come near me for 7 days, and then you may come to me. He heard what I said and left me. So I fasted 7 days, mourning and weeping as Uriel, the angel, had commanded me. And after 7 days, the thoughts of my heart were very grievous to me again. Then my soul recovered the spirit of understanding, and I began once more to speak words in the presence of the Most High. And I said, O sovereign Lord, from every forest of the earth and from all its trees, thou hast chosen one vine. And from all the lands of the world, thou hast chosen for thyself one region. And from all the flowers of the world, thou hast chosen for thyself one lily, and from all the depths of the sea thou hast filled for thyself one river, and from all the cities that have been built thou hast consecrated Zion for thyself, and from all the birds that have been created thou hast named for thyself one dove, and from all the flocks that have been made thou hast provided for thyself one sheep, and from all the multitudes of people that have gotten for thyself one people, and to this people whom thou hast loved thou hast given the law which is approved by all. And now, O Lord, why hast thou given over the one to many, and dishonored the one root beyond the others, and scattered thine only one among the many? And those who oppose thy promises have rodden down those who believe thy covenants. If thou dost really hate thy people, they should be punished at thy own hands. When I had spoken these words, the angel who had come to me on the previous night was sent to me. And he said to me, listen to me. I will instruct you, pay attention to me, and I will tell you more. And I said, speak, my Lord. And he said to me, are you greatly disturbed in mind over Israel? Or do you love him more than his maker does? And I said, no, my Lord. Because of my grief I have spoken. For every hour I suffer agonies of heart, while I strive to understand the way of the Most High, and to search out parts of his judgment. And he said to me, you cannot. And I said, why not, my Lord? Why then was I born? Or why did my mother's womb become my grave, that I might not see the travail of Jacob and the exhaustion of the people of Israel? He said to me, count up for me those who have not yet come, and gather for me the scattered raindrops, and make the withered flowers bloom again for me. Open for me the closed chambers, and bring forth for me the winds shut up in them, or show me the picture of a voice. And then I will explain to you the travail that you ask to understand. And I said, O sovereign Lord, who is able to know these things, except he whose dwelling is not with men? As for me, I am without wisdom. And how can I speak concerning the things which thou hast asked me? He said to me, just as you cannot do one of the things that were mentioned, so you cannot discover my judgment, or the goal of the love that I have promised my people. And I said, yet, behold, O Lord, thou dost have charge of those who are alive at the end. But what will those do who were before us, or we, or those who come after us? He said to me, I shall liken my judgment to a circle. Just as for those who are least, there is no slowness, so for those who are first, there is no haste. Then I answered and said, couldst thou not have created at one time those who have been, and those who are, and those who will be, that thou mightest show thy judgment the sooner? He replied to me and said, the creation cannot make more haste than the Creator. Neither can the world hold at one time those who have been created in it. And I said, how hast thou said to thy servant that thou wilt certainly give life at one time to thy creation? If therefore all creatures will live at one time, and the creation will sustain them, it might even now be able to support all of them present at one time. He said to me, ask a woman's womb, and say to it, if you bear 10 children, why one after another, requested there to produce 10 at one time. I said, Of course it cannot, but only each in its own time. He said to me, Even so have I given the womb of the earth to those from time to time are sown in it. For as an infant does not bring forth, and a woman who has been old age does not bring forth any longer, so have I organized the world which I created. Then I inquired and said, Since thou hast now given me the opportunity, let me speak before thee. Is our mother, of whom thou hast told me, still young? Or is she now approaching old age? He replied to me, Ask a woman who bears children, and she will tell you. Say to her, Why are those whom you have borne recently not like those whom bore before, but smaller in stature? And she herself will answer you, Those born in the strength of youth are different from those born during the time of old age, when the womb is failing. Therefore, you also should consider that you and your contemporaries are smaller in stature than those who were before you. And those who come after you will be smaller than you, as born of a creation which already is aging and passing the strength of youth. And I said, O Lord, I beseech thee, if I have found favor in thy sight, show thy servant through whom thou dost visit thy creation. Okay, so that was chapter 4, and I'm going to come back and review this chapter in detail with my perceptions and meanings, and just to go into the word a lot more into detail. So thank you.